Hello friends, today's topic is what is right to freedom of speech and expression. My lesson plan includes why it is in the news, what is right to freedom guaranteed under fundamental rights, what are the components of right to freedom of speech and expression, what are reasonable restrictions upon right to freedom of speech and expression, ways forward, and finally conclusion. On 28th March 2025, Honorable Supreme Court held that the free speech through poetry, comedy, painting, theatre should be cherished. Restrictions upon freedom of speech and expression should not be unreasonable. It should not be oppressive. Restrictions should not overshadow the fundamental rights guaranteed by our Constitution insofar it relates to the right to freedom of speech and expression. Thus, free speech is an integral part of a civilized society. A person's view cannot be silenced because that is unpalatable to somebody. The Supreme Court highlighted that the police and the government should ensure that the fundamental right of freedom of speech and expression must be respected and upheld. Thus, the court cancelled an FIR lodged against an MP of Congress under Section 196 of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, alleging that the speech created animosity or hostility between different communities. Friends, now question arises as to what are rights to freedom guaranteed under our Constitution. Under Article 19, 20, 21 and 22 describe regarding right to freedom under fundamental rights to both citizen and non-citizens. Under Article 19, there are 6 rights. These are right to freedom of speech and expression, right to move anywhere in India, right to reside and settle anywhere in India, right to practice any profession, calling, business or trade, right to assemble peacefully and without arms, right to form association, trade unions and cooperative societies. Earlier, right to acquire, hold and dispose of property was also a fundamental right under Article 19, but this right has been deleted by 44th Amendment in 1978 during the Janata government. It should be noted that these rights under Article 19 are available only to the citizens of India, not to foreigners. Secondly, these rights are protected only against state action and not private individuals. Further, these rights are subject to reasonable restrictions. Under Article 20, both citizens and non-citizens are guaranteed to have safeguard from convictions. For example, they are safeguarded from double jeopardy, self-incrimination and punishment from retrospective effects. According to Article 21, no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. This right is available both to citizens and non-citizens residing in India. Article 22 provides protection against arbitrary arrests. It provides that the accused must be informed about the grounds of arrest. He should be provided the legal practitioner to defend his case. He should be brought before the magistrate within 24 hours, excluding journey, and he cannot be detained more than 24 hours except authorized by the magistrate to do so. The second part of the Article 22 contains preventive detention. It means that a person can be detained up to 3 months without producing him before the judicial magistrate on the order of the district magistrate recommended by the superintendent of police of that district. The increase in the detention can only be made through the recommendation of 2-member judges of the High Court of that state, and the detention can continue up to 1 year. But the Parliament has the power to extend the period of detention for indefinite period. It should be noted that preventive detention described in Article 22 is not self-executory. The Parliament will have to pass legislation to give effect to preventive detention, and so the Parliament passed legislation on preventive detention from time to time. For example, National Security Act, NSA, MISA, Maintenance of Internal Security Act, UAPA means Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and so on and so forth. Now, question is, what is right to freedom of speech and expression? Friends, it means that every citizen has the right to express his views or opinion through words, painting, engravings, writings, signs, or in any other manner. According to the Supreme Court, the freedom of speech and expression includes freedom of the press, freedom of commercial advertisement, right to telecast, right to propagate one's views, right against taping of conversation on telephone or mobile phones, right against bandh organized by different political parties, right to know about the government activities, right against imposition of pre-censorship upon newspapers, right to demonstrate and picketing, but right to strike is not included under this article. Right of voters to know the antecedents of candidates standing in elections, right to choose medium of instructions at the primary level, right to express gender identity, right to reply the criticism, right to post informational videos on social media, right to make films on different subjects subject to the morality and decency and to show them on social media platforms, cinema halls and studios, right to have access to the internet for the dissemination of information, and finally right to freedom of silence. Friends, as you know that these rights are not unrestricted. They are subject to reasonable restrictions, and so under Article 19(2) there is a provision for certain restrictions. These are the right to freedom of speech and expression can be subjected to restrictions under following conditions. Number 1, sovereignty and integrity of India, security of the state, friendly relations with the other foreign countries, public order, decency and morality, contempt of court, incitement to offences, defamation, and finally public order. The Supreme Court upheld right to freedom of speech and expression from time to time. In the case of Ramesh Thapar versus State of Madras in 1950, the Supreme Court struck down the ban on the circulation and entry of a magazine, contending that it was an unconstitutional act. In the case of Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, the Supreme Court struck down Section 66A of Information Technology Act, alleging that it was violative of the freedom of speech and expression. In the Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India, the Supreme Court broadened the definition and interpretation of personal liberty to include freedom of speech and expression. In the case of Indian Express versus Union of India, the Supreme Court ruled that the freedom of press is included under right to freedom of speech and expression. In the case of S. Rangarajan versus P. Jagjivan Ram, the Supreme Court held that the freedom of speech cannot be suppressed only because it is unpalatable to somebody. It also asserted that there must be a direct connection between freedom of speech and the public disorder. In the case of Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India 2020, the Supreme Court held that freedom of speech through internet is a fundamental right, and any curtailment of internet facilities must follow proportionality. It contended that indefinite curtailment or suspension of internet violates the right to freedom of speech and expression. The Supreme Court has issued several guidelines with regard to the reasonableness of restrictions imposed by the government or the legislature upon the right to freedom of speech and expression. The court said that while examining the question of reasonableness, one should keep in mind following conditions. These are directive principles of a state policy. Restrictions must not be excessive or arbitrary beyond the requirement of the interest of general public. No general principle can be laid down to fix as to what constitute reasonable restrictions, but it will vary from case to case on account of changing conditions, values of human life, social philosophy of the constitution, and prevailing circumstances. Thus, a just balance should be struck between the imposition of restrictions upon freedom of speech and expression and social control. There must be a close connection between the restriction imposed and the object sought to be achieved. The question of reasonableness should be examined both from substantive and procedural standpoints. The reasonable restrictions should not be more than the mischief to be prevented. In order to put reasonable restriction, the procedure should be fair and just, and it should be based upon the principle of natural justice. Now friends, what are ways forward to preserve the right to freedom of speech and expression? These are following. Decriminalize the criminal defamation. While civil defamation must remain in the statute book to protect the reputation of a person, the provision of criminal defamation must be abolished. A clear guideline should be issued with regard to shutdown of internet. A parliamentary committee should be formed on permanent basis to oversee working and shutdown of internet by government agencies on different occasions. Securing data protection. In order to have digital freedom, people should be made aware of respecting dissent and constitutional rights bestowed upon them. Hate speech delivered by politicians must be dealt with sternly. India should borrow best practices from developed countries of the world with regard to right to freedom of speech and expression. Now, finally, I conclude that there is a need to balance between the right to freedom of speech and social control. Friends, as you know that unbridled right to freedom of speech and expression would bring anarchy in the society, and this would be a threat to the security of India. Thus, right to freedom of speech and expression is the cornerstone for a vibrant democracy. Friends, I have concluded my lecture. If you have any suggestion, please give me feedback. Thank you very much.